Okay, I had to do this shit over. I was rambling. Listen, it's about boys will be boys and man up. And I'm gonna try to keep this simple and clean. I do not okay, as far as those terms, boys will be boys and man up, I feel like start with boys will be boys. I feel like it's been utilized wrong and people don't know where it could. It's like it started as one thing. It's like where little kids they'll horse around, they'll horseplay, they'll be rough with one another and all that other stuff because that's how little boys are, and that's what boys will be boys is. When little boys roughhouse with other little boys, boys will be boys. That's how we. And when I grew up, I roughed house a couple kids. I roughed house but there's some people that was rougher than me. I had to take it. Did I cry sometimes? Yeah, I was a little kid, but at the same time, I had to man up. I went back out. Sometimes I went back out there. Sometimes I had to fight my own fights. But that's what boys will be boys is. It's like sometimes you got to take your licks and you keep on licking. You get back up. There's all right. As far as boys doing something to women, boys be boys does not include that. And I say this many a times. Anytime when people say boys will be boys, and that's including well how men treat women or how little boys treat girls. No. You have to sit you have to if your little boy, and don't get me wrong, this is coming from someone that used to horseplay and go around smack girls on the asses, all that shit growing up. I, I'm not like even as a kid, I knew that's something I should not be doing because if someone did that to my sister, now yes, little kids are little hypocrites and contradict themselves and all that other shit. But when you're older, you realize that's wrong. But as a little kid, you don't really know better. But that's why, as an older person, you tell them you do not do that to women because you do not disrespect the women like that. As far as that concerned, that's a village mentality. That's someone like let's say like an old person, yo, young blood, let me talk to you. You don't do that to women. If someone that came up to me while I was doing that, I mean, I stopped. I stopped the whole ass smacking thing. I don't even like touching women. Tell you the truth, I'm a straight black man, but I don't even like touching women unless I'm in a strip club or like I have consent. And most of I do is like hug them. So as far as that concerned, like the young me, like older me would have told young me, yo, that's not right. You don't be doing that. All right. Um, you like boys will be boys does not include that. You, and I feel like when people use that, oh, boys will be boys, no, that does not apply. And I think that's why boys will be boys gets a bad rep in the community for that alone. As far as man up, there is nothing wrong with telling your kids to man the fuck up. Okay, there are times where as a adult, you see maybe the child interrupt. They're looking for guidance. Manning manning up is nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's like people like you got to tell them, bro, you got to shake it off. You got to go back and you got to get in that fight. Like standing up to a bully or something. Back then when they used to tell you I had a bully, and my father told me sometimes when you have a bully, the only way to stop a bully is to punch him in the mouth, or you got to stand up and fight. Now, if it's someone that's older than you and all that other stuff, you find someone old. I had older brothers, so like my older brother will handle it, or if it's someone like an adult, my father will handle it. That's another thing. But as far as someone my age and something like that, I had to be a man. There are times where I had to be a man, and I sit there and I man the fuck up. You have to induce toughness. I don't care if he likes anime and all that other stuff. I know a bunch of dudes that like anime that will fuck you up. Like he's not a nerd, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. It's like sometimes you got to fight that fight. Sometimes there are times now if your mother dies or anybody in your family dies or anybody that you find remotely close to you die and you are crying, no one is going to tell you to man the fuck up. That's your man's. Okay, and if that's your man's, I expect you to be emotional. Yeah, I expect you to be emotional. I expect you to be crying. I expect you, like, if someone says something bad about that nigga, I expect you to wild the fuck out and black out. I had a baby sister that died. and I don't know who, but someone told my older sister like it was probably she. I think they said it was probably you. Now I don't know why that girl said that, but when I heard that story, my sister blacked out and beat her ass. And sometimes as a man, and this is a talk from man to man. Sometimes as a man, niggas would try you. And then like they'll keep trying you until you give them a reason not to try you no more. I had to learn that. I think my brothers had to learn that. My cousins had to learn that. I think everybody in the manhood has learned that. And I tell kids and I tell people younger than me, niggas are going to try you. If you think niggas are not going to try, you are in for another fucking world. I had to tell people this in the military. I had to learn this on my own. And then every time when niggas tried me, I gave them a reason not to try me no more. There's and that's the part of manning up. There are sometimes there are obstacles in your way. You either gonna run or fight or flight, as most people would say. You're either gonna fight or you're gonna flight. So if you once you and the thing about manning up, once you do that and your fucking problems are solved, it's usually that's it. That's the end of the problem. Especially if you're a man, and especially like that's why male fights sometimes when they'll fight a nigga once and then they may fight another because you niggas go back out there and fight again. For what? I don't agree with a lot of people say this. I don't agree with sending your kid back out there to go fight because he fucking lost. That doesn't make him a punk. Like a lot of people, oh, you ain't gonna show people ain't no punk. Now I understand why people do that because, like I said, niggas will try you, but at the same time, you don't send that man coming out there because, especially like usually after that first time they fought, all that animosity, all that testosterone, that shit dies out, and then sometimes niggas just like, what are we doing? And then usually they become the best friends. That's why when it comes to fighting, and you can call me sexist all you want to, I don't care. I said when usually two men fight, that's the end of it. When two women fight, that's the beginning of it. I don't hold no grudge. Like usually, like when I used to fight, man, I don't hold grudges. There was one time where I almost got into a fight with one of my friends. The next day, he came up to me, stuck his hand out. Hey, yo, we cool, right? And I looked at him and I dapped him up. I said, yeah, we cool. I'm sorry. That was it. That was it. And that's how most male conversations are. And I think that's what women like they wish they could do. Cause there's like I could like cause most women they hold grudges forever. Men don't really hold grudges. It's like I understand. Sometimes even like let's say if I slap someone's sister on the ass and then she go get a brother and he comes and fights me. Either I win or lose that fight, I gotta give that man respect because he was supposed to do what the fuck he was supposed to do. Like as a man, he did what he was supposed to do. That's part of manning up. It's like sometimes, like even if your sister is in a wrong, or like, but if your sister comes to you for help and she's looking at you to like protect her and all that other stuff, as a man, you're supposed to run up there and do that. Now you might have to have a conversation with her later, but at the same time, you did your job as a man. There's nothing, but I do not like the way society has been using these words "man up" because a lot of people are pussy, and they get mad when some people call them pussy because sometimes your situation, and this is why I say sometimes they're pussy because sometimes it's not even regarding fighting. Sometimes the answers are right in your face, and like the problem to your answers are right in your face. A lot of people and a lot of men don't want to do that. They want other people to handle their problems for you, or they want to do another way that is a more pussyfied way. And it's like sometimes no, sometimes you got to sit there and there's nowhere to go, and you got to go through that person. You got to man up. So as far as these terms, boys will be boys, man up. I feel like we got to. How can I say this? I don't want to say set rules, but we got to understand everything that comes in about the word. Okay, now as far as old niggas and young niggas, all right. old niggas, I, even though sometimes y'all right, as far as man passes, some shit is just timeless. Like fighting. Sometimes you got to fight a nigga. There's times where you had to man up and the whole thing. And I think another conversation I'm gonna have, because I don't want to mix on my comment, is about the whole economics and the whole thing about men providing for women and all the other stuff. That might be a next conversation I'm gonna have. But right now, as far as men to men, yo, sometimes you gotta take heat from these old niggas. Sometimes they know what the fuck they talking about. But old niggas, sometimes you gotta understand the ways of the old. Sometimes they don't work no more. Sometimes there's new ways to work it out. So there's new ways to talk it out and all that other shit. And I'm not gonna lie, some of you old niggas are still emotional. Some of you old niggas are so stuck in your ways that you don't even see change. So it's like there's people you just can't. You just, how can I say this? I can't like rock with your advice because it doesn't work in this situation. But my next conversation is going to be about the relationship between a man and woman economically and the whole traditional roles between a man and a woman. So, with that being said, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.